So good to be back today. I'm really excited because today we have Renee Ambush with us, and she is an amazing, pleasant surprise. You're going to hear about her and how she's changing the entertainment industry. Now, entertainment industry, if you know, it influences our culture, our young people. It influences a lot of what happens in society. And we have here an innovator who's changing the entertainment industry and bringing healing to a generation of youth and women. So I'm so excited to have her. We want you to do us a favor. Stop what you're doing right now and go ahead and share this message out. If you're watching, share the love. Let others that are on your page, your networks, your friends, your family members get this message too. So share it. We've been seeing the views. We've been seeing you following our content. We're so happy. We love you. We want to continue producing this content that matters most to our communities,
Yes.
that brings inspiration and empowerment. And that's what these fireside chats are all about. So go ahead and follow us on all of our social media platforms at iRace Inc. Don't forget to follow me, Shanequa E, on all my platforms as well. And don't forget to subscribe, y'all, to our ATL Rise podcast. It is blowing up. It's amazing. We're bringing some amazing content to you, and you don't want to miss it. You want to be the first to be notified. I know on Fridays, I'm looking at my podcast app on my phone, and I'm just waiting for the episode to be released. I'm pressing it. I'm listening to it. I'm listening to it while I'm driving. I'm sharing it through text messaging. I want you to do the same. Get excited about it. Subscribe to our podcast, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google, Podbean, whatever you choose. Don't forget to subscribe. Every Friday, we're releasing new episodes. All right, let's get started. So, Renee, thank you so much for being with me today, for being flexible. You got a last minute call, but you jumped in. You're flexible and adaptable, and I really appreciate that.
I appreciate the opportunity and the invite. It really is humbling.
I love it. I love it. And y'all, Renee is very humble, but I'm going to read her bio so you can hear all the things that she's been doing in the realm of entertainment. And then we will hopefully get to talk about the nonprofit that she's working on. So, Renee is actually a native of Baltimore. She's a 2018 Grammy Consideration for Best Gospel Single, song and television writer, filmmaker, and producer. And her song Paralyzed and film A Better Baltimore has been honored and won numerous film festivals throughout the US, as well as Milan, Tokyo, Toronto, and Montreal. She's a published author and a 2021 Amazon best-selling author. She has a background and impartation strategy. Now, that is a background we need to help move our society forward. She walks alongside individuals, providing strategies, pulling out their strengths, and overcoming past trauma and current obstacles and challenges. Renee is a relentless overcomer. She has overcome 10 years of sexual abuse, molestation, incest, domestic violence, homelessness, suicide attempts, and after the death of her firstborn child, who was only 28 years old. Renee is the owner and the founder and CEO of Out of the Box Productions and Drama Dream Foundation. She is indeed not just a community leader, but a voice to this world. She is consistent and relentless in providing counseling, therapy, educational opportunities to build the self worth and self love in others, standing on her words that there is you are not what happens to you. Excuse me, there you are not what happens to you. And then Renee's relaunching her podcast, Unbox Me. I'm actually wearing here one of her shirts, Born to be Unboxed, one of my favorite t-shirts, which focuses on giving other platforms to an opportunity to tell her story. And she's working on her new sitcom and episode, and so excited for what's to come. So that's y'all, Renee. She's amazing. Thank you for being with us again.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. I know we only have a few minutes and we want to jump into your work. So can you start off, Renee, by telling us what was it that inspired you into the entertainment industry? What was it that sort of got you started and inspired you to be there?
I first wanted to say that I was inspired by the entertainment industry when I realized that I was different. I realized that I just had a big personality. I was always like giving on shows and singing for people and performing on my front porch. And I was like, this has to be something that is for me, you know. And it wasn't until I actually understood what purpose and calling meant that I realized I was actually born into being purposed to help other people in the entertainment industry. It is actually through my own personal traumas and challenges and things that I had to overcome that had me to realize that my purpose was to have to go through those things to then also bring it back to my initial calling to the industry, to put them both together, to enlighten, impart, and impact people, to bring their story, tell their story, to give their message, and to entertain people all the while.
That's amazing because when we think about entertainment, right,
Mm,
we don't really think about it from the standpoint of bringing healing. But
yes.
what we've seen are people like Tyler Perry that's trailblazed the entertainment industry and that's brought healing to Black families
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
films that really speak to the heart, the mind, and the soul, and films that have you sitting at the table with your loved ones and talking about things that your own trauma and ways that we can sort of extract from what we're learning on TV and say, wow, that happened to me. And we can watch it, laugh, and cry together as families. But what we've seen is such a trend, and we need more Tyler Perry's. Not to say you are Tyler Perry, you are Renee
Oh,
Ambush, and maybe doing even greater things than what he's doing, but he has contributed so in a magnificent way to the media industry. How do you see that happening with what your efforts are? How do you see you reshaping entertainment to bring healing to us, to our generation?
I think I will say by reshaping individuals that is in the industry. And what I mean by that is a lot of times, just as you said, this is a place that is very huge where people get their messages from. And I feel that or believe and know and have been walking in, if I can change the narrative of people's perspectives, of their hearts, their minds, their focus, to unblock the things that are holding them back from being their amazing selves, then I'll change every field of industry that they're in. So when we hear songs, like you said, they're impactful because they're soul songs, but you'll hear souls of healing. But one of the things that in addition to I always say I want to laugh our way through healing is being in a place where we can actually tell our story. And when I say tell the stories, you know, you might be, you know, have people in church, they hear a testimony. And I'm just one of them funny people who used to always say, don't tell me the good parts of the testimony. Give me who really went through understand, relate, then give me the good part. So I think that my impact or what I can or what I'm doing in the industry with other people is having them to be able to change their light, it being dim to a bright light, to say, hey, I really did go through this, but here is my other side. And I want to tell my story. I want to tell it in a movie. I want to tell it in a song. I want to write it in a play. I want to put it in a book so that everybody else can also see that there is, like I said, destiny over drama, that there is triumph over the tragedy.
I love that. You know, there's so many thoughts that are going through my mind right now. And one of them is the idea that when we tell our story, we take our personal power back.
Yes.
And when we tell our story, we liberate others to tell theirs too.
Yes.
We free others from shame and embarrassment and hurt and pain and all the things that happens to people when they go through things like
Mhm.
sexual abuse, incest, molestation. Some of these things people go through and they never tell anyone and they take it to the grave and they die
Mhm.
broken and they die in trauma. And so what would it look like for a generation to feel liberated through
Yes.
hearing songs of healing, movies that also motivate and inspire healing in families? So I'm wondering the impact. What does that look like if we were to have Renee Ambush really reshaping things in music and entertainment and film? How what would be the impact for our youth and our families?
The impact, I believe, is the ability for people to really live their best life by being their best self. You know, again, I'm a wordologist. I love words. They have so many meanings. I like to break things down. We have a lot of jargon. And one of the things is, when people go, I'm living my best life. And it's like, but there's a lot of healing and a
Mm.
lot that you need as far as your wholeness, a lot of, kind of getting over some things in order for you to really deal with the matters of the heart. So I see it making a difference and impacting people, because it'll actually be one life changing lives, which will change other lives, which will change homes, communities, neighborhoods, and ultimately the world.
I love that. And I want to shout out Tiffany Lewis. She says she's here supporting you. Hey,
Oh, thank
Tiffany.
you, Lady Tiff.
Tony's out
Hey, Tony. I'm seeing these things. Look, support is everything. Thank
there.
you, guys.
I love
Absolutely.
that. You know, what let's talk about the opposite of what happens when we have an entertainment culture
Oof.
that is motivating young people to into gangs and to into violent or criminal behavior. What is the impact that entertainment can have on the opposite side when we don't have people like you that are reshaping this industry in a way that brings healing?
We know that media impacts everything. It impacts the masses.
Mhm.
So entertainment is the hugest, one of the largest hubs, if not the hugest, the biggest, ways of sending messages. And I think that when we are not helping people within themselves to be able to help the bigger culture, we find ourselves in economic ruin, economic destruction. We find ourselves in family breakdown. We find, a lot of negativity and bringing forth things like criminal behavior, because again, we're not giving people an outlet to be
Mm.
able to express themselves and their god-given purpose and talents. And we all have them. We just don't have a lot of people to walk alongside us to bring those things out for us to share it in a positive way. Funny story, I used to be an educator, and one of the things that I taught was life skills. Now, I was a funny teacher because I was a real teacher, and I had a lot of individuals in my class who
Mm.
were street entrepreneurs. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and the thing about it is, again, being unconventional and being able to not hurt or harm these people because of their choices, because we don't know why they had to make the choice. We don't know what
Right.
they have to do to make those choices. But what I would do is I would change the perspective of those individuals to show them that if you can be a street entrepreneur, then you could do well in business, because you have every tool that you need to be able to do that. We're just going to change the focus and perspective in the environment to be able to practice what's already inside of you.
Exactly. And I love that because before we started airing, we talked about the idea of reverse engineering and what that looks like. And it was so in the podcast episode tomorrow, we'll be talking about the idea of reverse engineering, very similar to the terminology street entrepreneur, taking those skill sets, transferring it, reversing it, changing the narrative, and then bringing it into an empowerment context so that we can shift generations and paradigms. But reverse engineering from the standpoint of media and industry, what does that look like?
I would say that it is changing the narratives of the story. Again, kind of carving our way and impacting the entertainment industry with more stories that are stories of overcoming, more stories of, again, like I said, just kind of using this word, this phrase, triumph over tragedy. Because what happens is sometimes we're showing a narrative that keeps us stuck in the tragedy.
Yeah.
But I'm a realist in my writing and in my productions and things of that nature, and that I want to show you what things are real life, but I want to show
Mhm.
you that you don't necessarily have to be where you are. Where you are is not necessarily where you ought to be. You can step out of that realm of whatever that bondage or self incarceration can be, so that you can be out of the box. So changing that narrative, doing that, engineering, changing that is going, hey, we're not going to take away
Mhm.
what is, but we're going to go ahead on and capitalize the positive on that and impact by changing and showing and hearing what it is, but what it actually can be.
I love that. It makes me think about movies that really do inspire.
Mhm.
When you see certain movies, they can bring out the potential and the possibilities of talent and purpose. And other movies could do the opposite. But there are some of those movies that you watch
Yeah.
and you really start to think, okay, maybe I can do that, right? Like, for example, the movie with Serena Williams.
Oh,
And I don't remember the name of it. What was the name?
I don't remember, but
I don't
again,
remember either.
but we do remember that it was a story of triumph over tragedy.
Over tragedy. Exactly. And I took my daughter to see it and it really inspired her too. So that really is the impact. And it's important, I believe,
Mhm.
especially as black folk, black people, people of color. Oftentimes our story or narrative is not told in the right light, in an empowerment
Absolutely.
light. And so when we start to reshape media to tell stories in a way that empowers Black people, then we can use that to bring healing. But oftentimes, I don't think healing and media or entertainment tends to go hand in hand. But you found a way to do that
I
with
did.
your nonprofit. Tell
I
us
did.
about that.
My nonprofit, Drama Dream Organization, Drama Dream Foundation, and organization is the website. So it's www.dramadreamfoundation.org. But Drama Dream is exactly that. It is merging mental health, substance abuse, grief counseling with those individuals who are interested in the areas of arts. And that is literary works with publishing books,
Wow.
or writing film, writing television, music production, and songwriting. These are all the things that, like I said, I went into. And you read a little bit about my bio. And so it's not without tragedy that I had. I needed myself mental health therapeutic services at points because, again, without it, it was stifling the full person and the full potential that I am.
Wow.
So I wanted to make sure that in honor of my son, because his performance name was Drama. And he was a music producer, he was a rap artist, and his music name was Drama. And as we read in the bio, my song Destiny was considered for a Grammy in 2018.
Congratulations.
But thank you so much. And I realized that though I gave birth to him, he gave life to me in his death. So I realized that there was still destiny over drama. So in honor for him, in honor to him, for his voice to still be heard, I founded Drama Dream Foundation, where we assist people, nonprofit. We look to assist the individuals between the ages of 16 and 25 with any kind of therapeutic services that'll help unblock and unleash their God given inability, innate talent to go ahead and operate in our entertainment industry.
You are such an inspiration to mothers who have lost their son, that may have lost their son many years ago, maybe recently, but they have not found a life in their but be it sons or daughters death, but you have found life. How, what motivated, what has helped you to see this, to see your son's death in this way, that it's only brought more life and light out of you.
I would say first and foremost, and I think this is, I'm going to speak for, if not all parents, we love our children.
Absolutely.
And in a light of our children maybe passing before us, we never want their light to stop shining.
Mm,
So if we are still here breathing, we have the ability to allow their light to shine through us. And I've purposed myself to do so. That's for me a part of my grieving and my healing, that that light of my child still lives through me as I continue to use his voice to go ahead and speak to others, so that his leaving us physically is not in vain. So that's a part of continuously sharing the light of your loved one by positively impacting in their name, in their honor.
wow.
The other thing to that is he fathered the most wonderful, most outgoing child around, and and as a result, I actually adopted her when she was a year old, and
Oh, I
she
love
is a
it.
constant light and a constant reminder that I have to keep pushing to make sure that stories are told, that lights are shining, that people are overcoming, that people are in a different place and state of being so that they are no longer bound. So those are two of my reasons, and as well as the fact that, like I said before, I really have taken on the fact that I was purposed and born to do so. And I am glad that I'm a vessel used to help other people.
Wow. Skylar is baby that we talked about, and she calls mom. So she does not refer to you as
Right.
grandma, but mom,
Mimi. Hmm.
Mimi, mom. And you have done, I mean, I don't think there are no words, but you have done such an outstanding, exceptional job in raising Skylar. And she is a gift. Both of you are a gift to the world, but she's a gift to the world. And I never met your son, but I how much light he showed through himself
Oh.
because I can see it in his child. So I think it's beautiful what you've been able to do. That is the
So
essence of reverse engineering. You've been able to take a tragedy, something that no parent on this earth ever wants to live through, and you've been able to bring light not just to you and into his child, your child, but to this world. And so I love what you're doing. But I think you're on to something that's very, very innovative and very trend setting. And that's the idea of media and healing through it. And I think nonprofit organizations and maybe some have considered, but I think really is a way to reach young people.
yes,
They
yes,
may not want to come and just talk about their feelings.
yeah,
They may not want to be mentored, right? So talk
absolutely.
about that in a few moments if you can.
Um, one of the things or one of the reasons why I have developed the name impartation strategist as quote unquote a title is because especially in our community, our black our African American community, therapy usually is a hard word or a word that we don't really take like a liken to.
Right.
So impartation strategist is, even though I do therapeutic services, I really provide strategies and, like you said, an outlet for young people to be able to freely express the things that they are going through,
I love
express the things that they've encountered, because sometimes we don't take the time and opportunity to listen to the young people. And I really believe since a child, right, I've always been that child to ask why. I question, not for defiancy, I just wanted to know why does it work this way, why does it go that way. And I realized how important a child's voice is,
yeah.
not only because they do have very great things to say, but because they have a spirit that is childlike and is not infiltrated with a lot of other things to convolute it. So they're going to give you the truth. And in saying that, I also just want to take a minute and stop. We talked about the fantastic scholar, and we've talked about my son who is no longer with us, but I have two other amazing children that I never want to leave out of my equation. I have a 25-year-old son, and shout out to Mr. Kyle. He
And
is on his journey of professional football. So he
woo,
has carved his way in the world with what he was purposed to do. And then I have my 18-year-old lovely JL Michaela, who has spent 8.5 years in the entertainment industry herself. So as a momager, I
wow.
navigated seeing the things that she had to do as a young child, navigating through these Hollywood movie streets. And and now she has also found her purpose in college, searching her other journey of purpose to do in the same footstep as mom a little bit, doing some psychology and social work and things of that nature. So I want to say that sometimes when you do lose a child physically, and you have other children, you have to also be able to grieve that child, but live enough that you're also still 100% for those who remain. So you can't leave and die with that one child. You
Wow.
have to also allow that life to be in you to be able to give that to your remaining children as well.
Oh my goodness. You just gave me goosebumps. Um and I don't know what that's like, but hearing you having family members that I was very close to that lost their sons through murder, through violence, and and knowing they had multiple children, but when
Mhm.
that one child died, it something in them died,
Yeah.
killed something in them, and then just that having the strength to pull through, to be able to still be there for the other kids that you have.
Yes. Yes.
But I love what you said, what you did. I know that that spoke to some mothers and even some fathers that may be watching right now, because unfortunately, this has been a generation
Yes.
where a lot of parents have been burying their children.
Yes.
there has been a generation where a lot of young people, unfortunately, have been taken, have been murdered, or have been prematurely dying. And so this is a message that I think that so many hurting, grieving mothers and fathers need to know and need to hear.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You know what? You still have purpose. You're here for a reason, and you're here on purpose for purpose. And as long as you got breath in your body, you do have the ability to overcome. And, this is what impartation strategy is about. This is what destiny over drama is about. This is what Drama Dream Foundation is about. You're here. You still have a dream. And you know what? I really want to help you live out that dream. And sometimes we take this journey and we don't have other people who can walk alongside us or really understand, who are empathetic, compassionate, but also educational enough to be able to assist you to get to the other side.
Love that. I love that. And you just spoke to somebody that's watching right now, and I
Oh,
know
wow.
it's they'll be watching the replay and some are watching live, but I know it resonated because so many times people do go around and walk around with a lot. They carry a lot. They got to be strong or feel like they have to hold up this false image of
Yes.
strength when
Yes.
it is okay. I told my little sister this when she called me going through so much that I wouldn't say out here, she'll get me.
Mhm.
Um, and I said, and she's like, I'm good, sis, I'm good. And I said, called her name, and I said, it is okay. You don't need to be strong. And eventually the tears started coming, crying, and I started to encourage her. I said, you have a whole bunch of sisters here that's
Mhm.
cheering for you by your side, that will hold you up. And I think people need to know that they're not alone, that you
Yes.
have someone you can reach out to. Renee is one of those people, impartation strategist. Of course, I raise girls and boys. We're
Yes.
always here for you, waiting for you to call, email, to embrace you, to take you in, to help you as much as we can, to help you get to your next level, to get through whatever the trauma or the issues are that you're facing. So you have a village, use it,
Yes.
recognize it.
Ooh, that's powerful. Use your village. Yes.
Yes, use your village. I love that. That might
Yes.
be very I love it. I love it. But we are wrapping. So there are people that want to reach you. They want to reach out. They want to buy one of these nice t-shirts that we got on. You want to rep one of these shirts.
Yes.
Um,
Living
or
in abundance over abuse.
yes, yes. I love that. I love that. I gotta get that shirt too.
Okay.
I think about 2 or 3 of them. I have to get my collection up. But
Okay.
if people want to purchase a product, follow you, reach out to you, how could they do that?
On Instagram, it is Rebirth of Renee, and that's Renee. So I've got two E's. On Facebook, you can find me, my name, Renee Ambush. You probably could Google me and find me everywhere. Literally, it's just not a name that is no, like, you don't get too many ambushes, but you can follow me there. My website is so funny because I was looking at my website today, and it's like it's something going on, but I'll give you my email address so that you can reach me directly. And then once the site is back up, we'll deal with that. But it's Out the Box, and we spell the THA,
Oh,
Out the Box Productions with the 7 at gmail.com. So
thank
you
you.
can reach me directly. Hmm.
Not you, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
The
Yeah.
team in the back.
Hmm.
You can put that email in. There we go. We're up there.
Yes, you can email me directly, and literally, that's a privilege because the website is down. So you actually get me directly with the Out the Box Production 7 at Gmail, and there, we can talk about setting up some strategies, getting you some material or products to wear so that you can heal out loud, which another one of my shirts, so
Yeah.
that you can go ahead and have affirmations even as you're walking and being styled. Because I make these things style, y'all. You're gonna have to check it out. Do I, sis? I mean, they got frizzles and frazzles and everything, but it's affirmation along with fashion. So why not look good, feel good on the inside and out? So,
Ooh, I love that.
yes, I do have a book here. Let's see. Uh It's not in front of me, but I do have a book. It's called Silent Screams, and it actually just assists people with overcoming that sexual abuse and that incest and trauma in the sexual abuse area. So yeah, I mean, just listen, just look me up. Let's talk. Let's work. Let's walk. Let's heal. Let's be free because you were born to be unboxed.
I love that. That's Renee Ambush, y'all. Drop the mic. I don't have anything else to say after that. That was excellent. Thank you so much,
So
Renee,
welcome. Thank
for
you.
gracing us with your beauty, the
Oh,
inside and
Thank
out,
you.
your presence, your work, everything you're doing. It is, it's just outstanding. And
I
I am
appreciate what you
so
do.
honored to be working with you and a beautiful Skylar,
Thank you.
one of our students, and I happen to be her coach. So
Yes.
I got my work cut out for me. So really excited. But please go ahead and support Renee Ambush. Her book is on Amazon. You can find it there. And we will be coming back next week. So thank you all so
Thank you.
much, so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Remember to use your village. Don't suffer on your own. Don't
Yes.
be in pain and not tell anybody. Say something to somebody that you love or that you trust. And if you don't have anybody, you have us. So you can reach
Yes.
out to us. You also have iraiseinc.org. Reach out to us. We are here for you. And of course, we love all of you. Thank you for
Yes.
supporting us, for supporting this content, for supporting our fireside chats. Quick announcements as we close. Don't forget to subscribe to our ATL Rise podcast. New episode will be released tomorrow. You don't want to miss that one.
Yes.
If I were you, I would hurry up and subscribe because I would listen to that on my way to work, which is what I'll
Awesome.
be doing in the morning. We have parent workshops available at iraceinc.org/parents for any parents that need additional support, need a circle of support, circle of care. You can reach out to us and join our Parent Rise groups. They're online every fourth Thursday. And so you can definitely reach out and join those parent support groups. We
Yes.
also have tons of events at iraceinc.org/events. We also have groups on self care and other things and
Awesome.
resources for you. So reach out. There's tons of things that are available just for you. And lastly, the executive coaching program, which is actually now closed, but we'll be reopening it for the summer. So if you have any kids that are interested in being
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, we will be accepting applications shortly for our summer executive coaching program. Thank you all again. We
Thank
appreciate
you so
you.
much.
Share this message out, comment. We appreciate each of you for being with us, for sharing these few minutes with us as we uplift and we empower and we inspire. Thank
Yes.
you again, Renee.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. We'll see you all soon. Stay tuned.